am telling my story. I have written this stuff out, but I'm not really following a script. I'm just kind of letting it flow, and I feel like that's the most natural thing to do. So that's what I'm doing, and sometimes I tell parts of my story and I'm like, oh, you forgot. And that's happened in the past, but I just let it, I just come out and tell it. But now I just want to do a little disclaimer for that's what's happening in this process. So, oh my goodness. And also, I'm trying to speak up more because I don't have any microphones. I can't afford any microphones quite yet. So, I'm trying to speak up. I feel like I don't know. I've been deaf for years. To me, silence sounds like ee. And it sounded like that since I can remember, really. And like I said, my dad would play loud music right on my ears, like all night long too, at his places. And so I think that contributed to my hearing loss. And so I really can't hear. And so the audio with these videos is very confusing for me. But it is what it is. And so now I'm going to try to speak up more and hopefully I can be heard. One thing that I do think that I forgot, but I think that I'm at my 5th grade summer. But my 5th grade year, I think that was the year that my dad and my stepmom divorced. I'm not sure. I think that they started separating. Again, I don't really know. Like I said, I lived in 3 different homes, and one was home and one was uppity, like tend to yourself kind of thing, and the other one was very chaotic. So it was very strange. But one thing that my mom and my dad's home had in common was my mom or my stepmom would ask me to do something, and it's like no matter what, no matter how I did it, no matter what I did, I was going to be called stupid. They were going to tell me I'm stupid, that I'm good for nothing, that it was very confusing. Like I remember being told at my mom's to go do laundry and being told at my dad's to go do laundry, both by my mom and my stepmom. And the washer and dryer was a completely different setup. That it was at my mom's, it was twist, push the button. At my dad's, there was no button. It was pull out. And I'm just a little kid, and I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. And I know not to ask my mama, and I know not to ask my stepmom but how? Because immediately I'm going to get yelled at. You're so stupid. You're so dumb. And, it just, it like destroyed me and made me shrink as a kid. Like I'm wanting to shrink like now thinking about it. It did. It really, really messed with me as a kid. And so there was a time at my dad's that I was staying the night with my dad, and my stepmom and my dad got into a huge fight, and they were fist fighting and like beating each other. Really, they were beating each other. And my stepsister, that's her mom, she got involved, and she was like hitting my dad with a pan. It was like, whoa. But I didn't get involved because I'm like, I'm a little kid. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, I didn't get involved. But then she went down. We lived on a hill, and we had neighbors at the bottom of the hill. And she went to the bottom of the hill to the neighbors with my stepsister and my twin sisters, and they had twin boys down there too. They had all boys down there. We had all girls up here, and my dad, he wanted me to, I don't know if he wanted me to stay. It was just like, you're my daughter, so you stay with me, and she's her daughter, so she goes with her. And, so my dad laid down in the bed and, was kind of crying and just like going to sleep, and had me lay down with him. He didn't do nothing with me. He just, laid down in the bed and the neighbor came over. The guy was like, can she go over there and be with the other kids, like, and is it okay? And he's like, yeah, if she wants to go. And I was like, okay, yeah, I want to go with the other kids. And so I went with him, and all the kids were watching movies, eating popcorn. And I mean, it wasn't such a bad atmosphere down there. But that memory does stick out, and I do know that my dad and stepmom began to be off and on again, and at this time I am now either at my mom's or my grandmother's, and so my stepsister, this is what she lived with, you know? She lived in that environment full time, and I had an out. I could go to my grandma's, which at my grandma's I loved my life there because my aunt would take good care of me, and we'd always go to the doctor, and my aunt taught me a lot of beauty care routines, and I loved that. And I had a hair care routine, and I would brush my hair 100 times a day. I loved my hair. I've loved my hair my whole life. I didn't always love the color. Now I love the color, but yeah, I had a schedule there, whereas at my mom's it didn't really have any schedule, or it was like an on off again schedule. I don't know. It's like a schedule you couldn't count on. And at my dad's, there was just no schedule at all. Like who knows if it's Monday, Tuesday? I mean, what day is it? I don't know. But you better get your ass up and you better fucking do something that you don't fucking know how to do. So excuse my language. I really want to cuss off the kitty list, but this is what I grew up with around. And that's how it was. And my mom, she divorced her, my stepdad, my brother's dad, and now my dad's divorcing my stepsister's mom, and I'm like, is she still my sister? I feel like she's still my sister. She's been my sister since I could remember, and I loved her, and I loved us growing up together. We would jump on the bed listening to New Kids on the Block, and Michael Jackson, and I don't know, I loved her. Yeah, it was a weird transitional time in my life, and my mom marries this guy who is a skydiver, and he goes to what they call the pumpkin patch, and that's like it's across state lines, and we would go there every summer, or he said he would go there every summer, and we went there 2 summers in a row, I think. But yeah, the pumpkin patch was really cool. They had a swimming pool there, and a hangar with a hangar with airplanes, airplane hangars, and that's where all the skydivers would lay out their parachutes, and you got to fold it just right and everything, and they would skydive, and I would swim in the swimming pools, having a blast and watching the skydivers skydive. You cannot skydive until you're at least 16, and you have to tandem skydive. And so I could not skydive. I was still young. I was still youngin'. I end up at this pumpkin patch getting burnt to a crisp. Burnt. Just staying out all day long, swimming, watching the skydivers in the bright sun. There were campers everywhere. People come in their campers. It's just a field where there's an airplane hangar. And then people come in with their campers. There's a swimming pool. And it's just wide open, and my white skin, this girl turned into a lobster. Bad. I had blisters all in my back and everywhere, and it freaked my mom out. We ended up having to go to the hospital to get me checked out, and they're just like, yeah, it's almost second-degree sunburn was what it was. And to just, they said, to keep stuff on it, stay out of the sun, no more sunshine at all. And so I had to stay in the RV. It was so boring in the RV, and you couldn't even watch the skydivers in the RV, and I didn't like it. So my mom, I convinced her that what if I wore like a long sleeve shirt and a hat, and I didn't let no sun get on me, and I could swim in the pool. And eventually she was like, okay. And at nighttime, once the sun went down, I could swim in the pool. So I would try to sleep as much as I could during the day, but I've never been a day sleeper. I've never really been able to sleep with the sun up. It's hard for me. I love nighttime, and I'll go out all night long and have a great blast, and then I'll sleep a couple hours, and the next night I'll have to sleep all the way through. I really can't stay up multiple nights, not without drugs. But as a kid, I wasn't doing any drugs other than marijuana every now and then. But yeah, so I did get to swim, and that was a lot of fun. And I remember swimming through there. And I have a lot of memories at the pumpkin patch. I remember one time they let my stepsister come. My stepsister got to come, and honestly, she made friends with one of the boys that was just a couple years older than us, who never paid me no attention, but she grew double D boobs in 4th grade. But that's not why he paid her attention. She got along with him. They got along. Their personalities matched a lot better. It was a lot like how she must have felt whenever I was in second grade and made friends with, someone that she don't really get along with. And that's kind of how I felt. And they made friends, and she liked to smoke, and they would smoke. And of course I would come up and be like, I want to smoke too. Back then I really wasn't as into it as much, but I kind of wanted to hang out with her. I was so excited that she got to go to the pumpkin patch with us. And but she made friends with him, and she had a blast with him, and I'm happy for her. And another pumpkin patch memory I have, one of the guys, he was really cool, and he had a girlfriend who was a psychic, and she gave my mother a psychic reading. And I don't know. I've never wanted a psychic reading. Like, don't read me. I don't really let people psychically read me. I don't ever want a psychic reading. Psychics have this reaction to me where it's like, and I'm just like, yeah, get over it. I don't know why, but that's my reaction. But this psychic, she wanted to give me a reading. I was just like, no, you're not gonna give me a reading. And she was like, you're very powerful. And I was like, thank you. And then I was like, fine. If you want to tell me something, tell me this. Will I have a cat whenever I grow up? And she's like, honey, you're going to have so many cats. She's like, but the one that stands out a whole lot is an orange cat. You're going to love her. And honestly, I think that was my princess. I had an orange cat named Princess, and she had babies, and the babies didn't survive. I don't know what went wrong. I've helped many cats have babies at this time in my life, but her baby, none of them survived. They came out little beans, kind of stillborn already. She got depressed and cried for a long time. But anyway, that's later on in my story. But the psychic, she was like, yeah, like I didn't really want a reading from her. And so she was like telling my mom, she was like, you know that your daughter has intuitive skills and I could help train her and da 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 da. And my mom was pretty open with things like that. And my mom was just like, Misty, do you want to learn? And I was just like, no. I don't know. I had this attitude towards psychics. I don't know where it comes from. But I did still have my Bible, and I was reading my Bible. And I do remember going in my RV at night and reading my Bible, like, this psychic thinks she knows. But she did tell me that she was like, one day you're going to tell your story, and it's going to be beautiful. And I remember her so well. It's so crazy. She had red hair too. Hers was brighter red hair. But she was a beautiful woman. She was really cool. And I enjoyed the experience. And I always think of the Sheryl Crow, I'm a woman, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. Like, that song is the song of that time period. So it was really crazy. But so that's what I want to talk about for now. For today, that's all that I'm going to say. And I thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you're enjoying the series so far. I hope that you're watching the rest of the series, because it is a series. It all goes together. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.